lively crowd we have this evening.
Super.
Have you tried this? Have you tried this at all?
What's it?
Give yourself one of those.
Oh, does it work?
Try it.
All right, can I stand up?
That's it.
Very
You see,
exciting.
who needs material when you have a drummer? That's what it comes down to. Oh, my
word.
word.
A flap, I believe, in the drumming world.
Flap. Is that a flap, is it? Are you excited about the news? The Duchess of York has dropped another sprog?
Oh, I'm insanely excited, Jonathan. Almost to the point of some kind of sexual release, am I excited?
Of course, I suppose we are uncles now, or something, are we? Would that count?
Yes, I think so. Yes.
Can we lay claim to the baby in some way?
I'm a sort of godniece, I like to think.
Soon be privatised, no doubt. And the last time I saw you, of course, was the Comic Relief Bash. Before that was Hysteria, which was a big AIDS benefit that you organised.
That's right.
Which I seemed to go well in the evening. How well has that done?
It's done awfully well. It's raised a lot of money. It was greatly helped by having Tina Turner and John Cleese, which made it sort of sell in America as a video and so on. It was very good. And thank you for doing it. You're awfully funny.
That's right, yes. I almost blocked the sale in America, I believe. Have I made it back into the video? Or?
Well, there's a little bit of you in there, yes.
Just enough to totally ruin my career, yeah. How do you feel about these sort of charities in general? Because there's some degree of controversy about
Yes, and people always say it's rather unpleasant to have a lot of famous people clubbing together and looking matey, and of course there is almost no more revolting sight in the world. But in the end, Roger, you have to search your, for want of a better word, one might call conscience. If there are people who seem to be dying and in great distress and very unhappy, and it looks as if it's possible you can do something to help them, and it's really, however revolting you have to be in public to do it, then really it's very hard to say no.
Do you give any support to the argument that people say that by organising bashes like that, although they help in the short term, we're just kind of helping the government avoid responsibility?
Yes, I mean, I think there is a lot of truth in that. So, but at the same time, you just can't walk by on the other side, can you? I mean, it takes a very odd sort of person to see someone bleeding in the street and in pain and dead, even, and not wish to help in some way, and say, if I help, it will only perpetuate the system that put that person there. Therefore, I'm not going to help. I'm going to walk past. And I don't have that sort of guts to do that.
Well, while on the subject of helping, here, this would be an ideal Mother's Day gift, I think.
Oh,
the Comic Relief video that's out this weekend, and you could purchase this for your mother or even for someone who might appreciate it this weekend. Now we've got that out of the way, let me ask you about your dealings with the press, because the Sun newspaper, bless them, seem especially interested in you at the moment. There was one piece appeared recently that I'd like to see what you make of this, whether it is accurate or not. Let's have a look at the caption there. I think the headline was Puffs and Perverts.
Oh, yes.
And the quote that I've taken from, I don't know if this is a quote you actually gave, but it's a fine one. I think you would be proud to take credit of it. I am here to read out a list of the male members of the House who have been assaulted up the botty at some time in their lives. People who have done strange things with vacuum cleaners, with light bulbs and bits of food. People who treat their mistresses to strawberry jam in a most peculiar way. Was that one of yours?
I'm not sure I exactly said. I merely made the point that it's very odd that members of the House of Commons get all kind of moral about people's sexuality when you consider that 80% of them are male and went to public schools, and therefore there is simply no kitchen appliance that at some time or other hasn't been pushed up their bottom during their life, which is fine. I mean, I'm all for people pushing any assortment of things up their bottom, as long as they don't sit on their green leather benches 2 hours after having done so and moralise and tell everybody else how to behave. It's my only view of it. Greasy cant and hypocrisy.
Well, I think we've put politicians in their place there, haven't we? But while we're kind of on the subject of sex, no matter how bizarre a form we may be discussing here, there's a quote from you from some time ago, "I think sex is stupid," and I know you have spoken many times about being a celibate man.
Yes, I am a celibate man, so you can keep trying, Jonathan, and I'm afraid you aren't going to get to first base with me.
Not even on the evening of the last show, Stephen.
Oh, well, all right. We'll see what happens. No, it is stupid. I mean, it really is stupid, isn't it? I mean, no, really, all this... You see, I can't help seeing what goes on. You know, it's this sort of wet slapping of bellies and this strings of mucus and all these... I'm sorry, I mean, perhaps you weren't aware that this is what the sexual act involves, and all those horrible, damp, tufted areas of the human body. Well, I'm sorry that they're not pleasant, and God has chosen also to use them as conduits or ducts out of which we pass our excreta. We basically ask us to bury our nose in a sewer every time. I'm sorry if that upsets you, but that's the way things are ordered, and I can see clearly, and somehow it rather spoils the desire for me.
I am really in the mood for some solid shagging when I get home now. Tell us, let's move on to slightly safer ground,
Yes,
perhaps.
yeah.
I'm intrigued with the new play you're involved in, because you are the hardest working man in show business.
Oh, I don't know about that, but I do like to keep busy, and it's a play by Michael Frayn, who's an extraordinarily funny writer. Noises Off.
Noises Off, yeah.
And tried Donkey's Years and many other amusing things. And this is one of the funniest plays I've ever read. Funny in all kinds of ways. I mean, it is a comedy, but it shows an audience. We all in the cast play members of an audience at a theatre play, so when the curtain rises, you'll be confronted with an exact reflection of yourselves, basically. And we all sit there and stare out at the audience like that, as if you are the play. I don't want to go too far into it, because it gets quite sort of strange, but it is
a very odd
funny
concept. So
experience.
presumably they will be saying the kind of things that an audience might be expected to say.
Exactly, that's right. So it's no good sitting in the audience thinking, oh, I don't want to see all this, so they're trying to get at us, because that's what the people on stage will be saying back to you. And that's at the Aubrey Theatre. It starts, the previews start a week today, in fact.
But for people, mere mortals who don't get to attend previews, when does it open?
17th of April.
I'm looking forward to that enormously. Is there any room for improvisation there, or is there a very tight
There
script?
is actually. It'd be interesting, Babe, because it's supposed to be absolutely, as I say, a reflection of the real audience. So if it's a rainy day and you come to the theatre, as we come on stage, we'll be shaking umbrellas and so on. If it's very hot, we'll be wearing T-shirts. So we have sort of different costumes according to the weather. We might get even further, you know, if there's a tube strike, we'll arrive late on stage.
Or just not arrive at all, perhaps.
Or not arrive.
Yeah. And that'll be the night that I'll go, probably. Stephen, as always, it's been a pleasure. It's never a chore. Ladies and gentlemen,
It's
Mr.
been
Stephen
huge.
Fry. Now, as you probably know, of course, last Tuesday was